everybody, this is Robert with RC Archery, and the video that I have for us right now is going to be a fun and informative video all about your form in bow fitment. Now when we talk about bow fitment, what is that? Well, that's your draw length and your body structure and how you get that bow to fit your body. The infamous "how's my form" threads. Those are the ones you see on Archery Talk all the time. So this is going to answer a lot of questions that you might see on those. It's going to show you video and picture proof of fundamentals, biomechanics for your body, and how your bow fitment works with that. And that's the fun part of this video for me. When you understand the correct principles of your bow fitment and the way that your body is going to react and the way that you need to set yourself up for your best form and your best float on target, it's easier to set that draw length up to match. But we always want to make the bow fit us. We don't want to fit the bow. So we want that to be the measuring point, but we need to have good form and good fitment to be able to shoot our best groups. So to start out with, before I get into any information, I'm going to put some clips up. I'm going to let them sit there for a few seconds. You can pause the video if you want and look at every single one of them. I want you to take some guesses on what you think draw length settings on all of these clips are, how you think that's different for form, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to run that entire clip in its entirety, no editing, and I'm going to show you from draw length setting here on my draw board with the tape measure through every one of those clips so that you can see seamlessly what is actually changing, and then I can be able to see if you were right or if you were wrong in your guesstimates. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you on this first clip that you see, normal draw length for me is just over 28 and 3/16. So it's 28 and 7/32 is my actual draw length, where I float the best with my Hoyt Podium X Elite 37. So I'm gonna let you see that. I'm gonna let you see what that looks like on me so you have a reference of anchor points on my face for my string and the way that my form looks. And then the ones after that are gonna be the variances. So I'm gonna let you see those, put your guesses in, and then see how you fare afterwards. Alright, so I got my bow here at full draw. Top draw stop touching the cable. Bottom draw stop touching. It's probably going to be hard to see on the camera, but 28, 3/16, a little bit over 28 and 3/16 is what I run my draw length at. So that's where everything is set right now. I've got it going. I'm going to take it directly out. And then you'll get to see everything live. So I'm going to move the camera around a little bit. I'm going to take it back where you'll be able to see me at full draw. I'll level it up here so it all looks right. Stabilizers put back on. So this first one that I'm going to do, normal body position, normal form, everything for me, just so you can see a reference and a guide point, the way you can see what it looks like. Again, I'm a little bit over 28 3/16, so I'm picky about draw length. I've got it down to the 64th where I felt best at float. It just happened to be where it was. So again, this first one, normal form, everything the same. Okay. I'll let down there. Now on this next one, I'm going to use it as a guide point on what to look at when you go to look at form pictures and the variances that you can see and all the discrepancies you can get out of it. You have a lot of movement in your bow shoulder. You can get Everybody's skeletal, alignment bodies are different, obviously. I can get about 1.5 to 2 inches variance, long and short, from my shoulder, just the way that I can press it in. It's not gonna rise up, it's gonna stay down and low, but where I can press it into the socket, how I bring my scapula back towards my spine. So on this first one here, I'm gonna overextend my arm, stretch it way out there, and go to full draw. Not changing anything on the bow, still at 28 3/16. A little bit over, let you see it, and everything going on. Just give you a reference point just so you can see how you can manipulate different things with your form and why you need to know the fundamentals of it on how you set up your body so to make sure that your bow is gonna work best, and that's when it comes down to that studying the float. So again, this first one, or this one here rather, the second one, really overextended. Okay. You can see string's not even close to coming back to my nose. Way different on draw length. I could easily get 28.5, maybe even 29 out of it, maybe a little bit more even. So that's to show you what it looks at on here. Now when my arm is really stretched out like that, I lose all of the support in my core muscles and my back muscles and my side and everything, and I'm too stretched out for my muscles to really hold the bow up for me, so it makes it really hard for me to shoot. It makes my float look horrible because of that. This next one I'm gonna do, I'm gonna compress my shoulder as far back as I can get it, keep it down and compress, and I'm gonna show you how far back that string comes while I'm still in a standing upright position. So as you can see on that one, the knock's gonna come way farther back in my face. I anchor down a little bit further to get that back. Still have the string coming to my nose because I'm anchoring down more to bring that string to the front of my nose, but that knock's gonna come further back. That's with my shoulder compressed really far. And this next one, I'm gonna do a little bit different, where I anchor higher up. I'm gonna bring the string back other side of my nose so you can see that. That's a pretty telltale sign of it being too long, but again, nothing is changing on my bow. It's how I'm manipulating my shoulder. So when I have my shoulder really compressed like that, I don't have any ability to pull through my shot. My shot is very weak. And I get a lot of left and right misses. I get a lot of up and down float because my shoulder is not strong. It's not in a good position, so it just moves up and down. All right, same thing there. Knock very far back in my face, strings past my nose, so obviously that's a problem. Now I wanted to do something else that's kind of fun too. A lot of times people see a lean, someone leaning back, and they say, oh, draw length's too long, you need to shorten it. I'm gonna draw back on target, normal shoulder positioning for myself, and a normal anchor straight up, and I'm gonna lean. Nothing's gonna change with my anchor points on my face. The only thing that I'm changing is leaning at my waist. My shoulders are staying in the same position. My bow shoulder, the lateral movement on it is staying the same. All I'm doing is leaning because I have poor form while I'm leaning back. So that's another one too. Has nothing to do with draw length. It's all about how you set your form up. A lot of it's how you do with your bow shoulder. Now you may want to ask how you find the correct positioning for it, and I'll go over that a little bit more, and then I'll also give you some references that you can look at to be able to see exactly how to set all that up. I do want to do one more thing for you. It involves stance. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit further. I'm going to talk through this prior. The way that you set your feet up are going to make a big difference on how your upper body is. You have a more open stance or a more closed stance, it changes the way that your angles of your shoulders with your hips are, and that's going to change your effective draw length because it's going to change the lateral position on your shoulder. So it's going to make the shoulder move this way more to be able to line up the bow, you know, as far as the way your feet go. You should be able to see my feet pretty well in that photo right there. So this is my normal stance. It's just a little bit open. My left front foot, my bow foot, you know, on that side, the end of that toe lines up pretty well with the balls of my feet on my right foot. That's a pretty neutral but open stance. I'm gonna step that out a lot. My left foot, my bow foot toe is gonna be right at the mid part of my foot on my back foot. That's gonna give me a really open stance. It's gonna cause me to have to move my bow arm way over to the right laterally, and that's gonna make the draw length, my body's draw length, effectively shorter. Now the same thing goes with the shoulders. You can move the shoulder, that bow shoulder, in and out, but I wouldn't want to affect my float. I would want to adjust the bow to fit me. I'm going to do a normal position on my shoulder the way that I always do, and I'm going to show you how far that affects the draw length for me. You can see with my normal shoulder position with my foot that far open, it brings the string all the way to the corner of my nose, or just past the corner of my nose rather, so it makes it too long. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Move my foot, my front foot, my bow foot forward. This is really bad for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to bring my arm into the path of the string, because my shoulder and my body is going to be fighting my arm. It's going to bring you in the path. You're going to get a lot of string slap on your arm. But I want to show you what that does with your draw length as well, when I still have the same positioning on my shoulder. So it's shortened it just a tad because I've gone to an extreme on my feet. If you weren't that extreme and you had just a completely zero stance where your toes line up together, I'll show you that one too, so you can kind of get an idea on that as well. So that one with my shoulder in the same position, it actually makes my body a little bit longer. I don't have any bend in or any lateral movement rather in my shoulder, because there's no angle here. So what that does is it lets my arm go out a little bit further. It doesn't allow the string to quite get to the tip of my nose in my normal shoulder position. So just kind of give you some ideas on that and let you see an illustration of what it could be when we talk about draw length in our form. All right, so how'd you do? I guessed myself, a lot of people probably thought draw length changes were happening, lengthening my draw length, shortening my draw length. But in reality, it was just the shoulder. So it was almost like one of those pop quizzes, right? Ones you get in school where you feel like there's no right answers, or you have the bubble sheet and the last 5 answers are all B, and you're like, yeah, no, one of those is wrong, I gotta go back and change that. Or my favorite, when your wife or girlfriend goes, does this dress make me look fat? Yeah, there's no right answer to that. Fake a heart attack, do something, get out of that one. So it was all manipulation on my shoulder. And I wanted to kind of give that as a reference, because when you know the correct ways to set your form up and you know what you're looking at, then you know how to help people on that one, you know how to help yourself on that, and you can use your tools at your disposal to be able to set up the best performing bow that you possibly can with your best form. So that's the biggest thing that I wanted to take from these videos, as far as what you see from that. Now, as a reference on me, my suit jackets, I wear a 42, so my shoulders, the way they size them up here. I'm not a abnormally big guy, I'm not a small guy. I'd say I'm probably average build. I'm 5'11", and I've got a little muscular build in my chest and my back, obviously from shooting my bow. So just to kind of give you an idea, but everybody's biomechanics, the way that you fit and the way that your body works is different. My shoulder has a good range of motion where I can pull it back and pull my scapula back out, or I can stretch it way out, and move a lot of variance in my draw length. So you can get in trouble with that. And obviously your feet and your stance and everything makes a difference too. And what that does is when you change your stance, so This is normal stance for me right now. If I hold my bow arm out like that, you can see that there's a little bit of a triangle. It's not much. I have a slightly open stance, not a horrible one. If I set it up and close it, and I put my hand back out in the same position, you can see it moves it over with my body. It puts my arm in the string pad. Same thing. If I open it up and have a wider stance, I've got to bring my arm over. It's going to create more of a triangle across my back from my bow and through my arm. When you're changing this lateral motion on your shoulder, you're changing your body's effective draw length. You're changing that distance from your hand to your face. So your form, your stance, that's your foundation. That's your build point, is your stance. I always recommend as a starting point for people to do a slightly neutral stance, because it gives you a range of motion. That's going to give you a lot of time. That's going to be perfect. You may have to change a little bit depending on what you're seeing on target. And if you do, your draw length will not change very much at all. And you can adjust those fine, little movements out of it and get it exactly where you need it again. So that plays a big part. How you have your shoulder set up plays a big part. Now you ask yourself, well, how do I want my shoulder? That's a little bit different for everybody. And kind of test around with it, kind of work with it, but I'll give you some guidelines to start out with. The way you want to, the way that I teach it and everything is a low shoulder, to where, just like if you were to stand, hands at your side in a normal position, and then hold your arms out. My shoulder's not up, it's not compressed, it's just there, it's flat. Normal positioning, comfortable positioning. Same thing with your bow. That's all you want with the bow. You just want to be able to hold your arm up, have a normal position in your shoulder. When I hold my arm out to my side like this, it's not stretched. I can stretch it that way like I did in the video. It's not compressed. I can compress it that way, but it's just there. It's in a natural location. When you get a little bit of push back into that, whenever you have your bow, you'll feel it kind of set. You'll have a settle in there, and you'll feel that, and that's good, because what that's doing is it's keeping a neutral position for your scapula. On your bow side, it's not pushing against your spine, and what that does is allow you to have a little bit of range of motion through your release side. That's a good thing to have as well. You don't want to be completely locked in where you're stagnant. You can't get a dynamic shot. You need to have a dynamic, mostly aggressive shot, not over aggressive. You don't want to hurt yourself in that realm either, but it makes a lot of difference. All of this information I go into a whole lot more on my video series, my instructional video series. So I've got one dedicated to form where I go over stance and bow fitment and draw length and loop length, and I even show you how to study your float on there, which is a huge part of it, because that's what you're going to know, studying your float rather, is what's going to tell you and how you know what to do with your bow shoulder. So from that normal, relaxed, natural position, where you need to extend it, what you need to do with it, and that's what's going to show you. I go over all of that in there, and I know that video you have to pay for. It's $15 on Vimeo. I have a DVD for them for $25 as well. So the reason they're like that is because I can put a lot of information out on my YouTube videos, but if I make it too long, I'm going to lose a lot of audiences, and it becomes a mess to try to upload them. So that's why I created my instructional series. It goes on with everything that I do on my coaching. Anytime I work with an individual, anything that I do the same thing as what I have set up in my instructional video series. And then also on that draw length one, I think it's an hour and 20 minutes, I believe. It's an hour and 20 minutes of form information. It's a lot of information in there, and that's me talking non-stop through the whole thing and showing a lot of stuff. So a lot of value in that for you, and I would recommend being able to watch it if you're having issues with your form and you're wanting to be able to dial yourself in, get a few extra points, or if you're just beginning and needing to set yourself up. It's much easier to set yourself up correctly from the beginning to try to recreate good habits based off bad habits. But again, it's a fun video to do. I hope it was enlightening. I hope it was eye-opening for a lot of people. Your biomechanics and the way all that works in with your form, the way you set up your feet is huge. It's important. I can preach that over and over and over again. It's hard to tell a lot from a picture whenever you see it online if you don't know what to look for. But again, I appreciate you watching this video this week. If you like it, hit the thumbs up for me. That helps other people be able to see it. Share it, whatever you may be able to do. I appreciate that. I like to have as many people as possible be able to see this because I feel it's helpful. And then also, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit subscribe for me. That way you keep getting some updates. I'm gonna have another video coming out over my new bow that I got. Got a brand new one, so you'll see this in the video. No peep sight, nothing in there because it's set up with stock strings, and I did something completely different than I've ever done with any of my bows before. And I go over all that and my journey back and forth to pick it up in a horrible rainstorm as well. So I appreciate you watching the video today, and I look forward to seeing you soon on some of my other videos. And if you have questions, email me or message me on Archery Talk. Leave a comment here below in the video, and I'll get all the links and everything put up for you in the description for Vimeo and my DVDs and my email. Thank y'all very much. Have a great day.